So yeah, and then I just love his stuff. So I mean, I would write him long emails about certain songs that he wrote, because his songs are like movies. There's another song called "Me and Jesus the Pimp" in a '79 Granada last night that makes me cry. It's so beautiful. And there's also a song on, I believe it's on the Sorry to Bother You album, called "We've Got a Lot to Teach You, Cassius Green," which is almost like a prelude to this film, which you should go seek out and listen to, because
and doesn't his uncle touch or screw off the head of a Jesus when he's working on his car?
Oh my God! See, now I get it. I've seen this movie 3 times, and it's, you were saying, one of those movies where every frame is packed with so much detail that it really rewards.
One of my fellow
viewings.
critics at the old folks' home said that every scene in this movie rewards you for watching it.
Yeah.
And specifically, he was talking about the rope and the windshield wipers, which is hilarious. And that's also from the song.
Yeah, and also the argument of compliments that Boots said he witnessed happen in real life in Oakland. He goes, thought it was the funniest thing he'd ever seen. And he goes, I have to work this in the movie. And they realized the only way to make it work is for it to go on way too long. And that's why that scene is so funny, because they just, how long are they going to do this? This is insane. So, okay, right up there.
Hi.
Hello.
How did you get into voiceover work, and how would some of us aspiring actors get into voiceover work?
I got into voiceover work it was sort of by accident. I was just doing a lot of stand-up, and in my early albums, I would do a lot of different voices and I wasn't even doing impressions. I was just, I guess by accident, I was showing that I had a crazy vocal range, and my manager, voiceover casting people were coming to shows and look, because they go to comedy shows to look for voices, and that's how I kind of fell into it. And the biggest piece of advice I would give to anyone trying to get into voiceover, and I wish I'd known this, take a cold reading class. Take a cold reading class, because most of your voiceover work you will do, they are very protective of the scripts, and they'll slap it right in front of you, and you got to read it. And the good news is, if you learn to cold read, your voiceover readings will be amazing, because you'll sound more natural, and that's what they want you for. That they want that kind of sound of this thought's just coming to me and I'm saying it right now. They don't like it too rehearsed. When I did Ratatouille, I was never allowed to look at the script. I went into the voiceover booth. They'd put these script pages in front of me, all of which were stapled to these giant pieces of cardboard, because to prevent me walking out with, making it hard for me to walk with it. And they would slap each one in front of me, and then I would read it, and then they would take it away. They did, because they don't want that stuff getting out there. So
Thank you.
You learn to cold read.
And you got that Ratatouille because you had done so much voice work before.
No. You know how I got Ratatouille? Brad Bird was driving around one night, and they were playing my first album on satellite radio, and he said, he was like, oh my God, that's the voice I want. I do a bit about Black Angus restaurants. And he goes, oh, that's that enthusiasm, that's what I want. So he did a pencil test of Remy doing that bit that he showed to the Disney people, and the Disney people were like, is he going to be cursing like this? I'm like, no, he's just doing the bit. That's the voice I want. He won't be cursing like this. He'll read the script that I write. And they went, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. But so somewhere in the vault of Disney, there is footage of Remy doing this very graphic bit of mine, and that's how I got the job. So, yes.
Hi, Patton.
Hi.
So I have sort of a two-part question. One, what did you find to be the biggest artistic difference between doing ADR for animation versus live action, especially when the actor had already recorded visuals of them doing your lines? And then, since you had previously had a relationship artistically with Boots, what, if any, was the preliminary direction, if that's the best word for it, for going into the movie? Like, what was his elevator pitch, I guess, if you will, for bringing you in? Like, hey, come dub over these actors.
Right,
It'll be great. They're horse people. Phenomenal. Bring it in. Like, you've played animals.
I read a version of the script years ago before he even got it. I think I told the people at McSweeney's, like, you should publish the script. And that helped get it all this attention. But as far as the difference between doing voiceover for animation and then ADR, with animation, I'm creating it from the ground up. I'm just doing it, you know, the way I'm doing it, and then they're figuring out what my motions would look like based on what I'm saying. For instance, the Pixar people came and watched a couple of my shows and filmed them, and you'll see a lot of my movements are in Remy, the way that I room. But with ADR, especially with Omari Hardwick, a lot of those were walk and talk scenes. So not only are you trying to match his mouth and match the inflection, but you're trying to do things like if he's walking and then stopping, that will change your voice. You'll indicate that in your voice. So you have to watch the scene a couple of times and go, okay, he's going to stop here, then he's going to move in close, he's going to say this thing. Your voice will change based on what your body movement is. If you've ever sat and talked and someone's told you, hey, talk but don't use your arms or hands, you'll end up sounding really weird because that's part of what you do when you're talking. And as far as Boots had no direction for me. He was like, I just want you to come in, I want to see what you do. Because I think he knew instinctually my voice coming out of Omari Hardwick would be funny no matter what. It doesn't really matter. He was very confident in the event of the scene rather than, okay, you've got to do it this way, you know. So we went in there and we did a couple little tweaks, but it was just, you know, he has some pretty amazing instincts. Lakeith and Tessa, their chemistry read took place over Skype, which is very hard to establish.
Yeah.
And they both really wanted to do the movie, but they could only do it over Skype. But he saw how they just gelled with each other so perfectly. So it was, so to have that kind of instinct and insight, and then make that leap of faith, is amazing. So, yeah, thanks. Yes.
Hey, Patton. First of all, great movie, very entertaining.
Thank you.
Definitely enjoyed it.
I wish I'd made it, but thank you.
My wife has been trying to see this movie for a while now. And we heard that you were going to be here at the Alamo, and so we decided to buy tickets. Sadly, Monday she got really sick, and she's actually in the hospital.
Oh,
about
God.
a mile down the road, so she's down there in pain, and I'm here enjoying this.
Dude.
But she asked me.
Bummed every.
I know.
I'm sorry,
I'm not
but
trying to.
I'm horribly depressed
These
right
are
now.
your
Wait a minute. I know these are my people. Wait a second. Is she gonna be okay?
Yeah, she's okay.
Oh,
we were hoping she would come home today, but it looks like tomorrow now. So.
It's 50-50,
She's
but I'd
okay.
already bought the ticket. I wasn't. I'm not gonna look.
Yeah,
$11 is $11. She knows
I
that.
think it was 20.
20.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Anyway, it was worth
Dude.
it, but she said before I left the hospital, she said, please, if you get a chance to talk to him, she said, please tell him, first of all, congratulations on Michelle's book. And then she said, congratulations on the happiness you found in life. And the last thing was that she loves you and thinks you're wonderful.
This is such a Babe Ruth moment. I can't hit a home run for her, but tell her thank you. But hang on, she's going to be okay.
She is, yes.
Okay, God.
Just an infection is cleared up. It's
Okay, good. Oh my God, tell her I'm so
Room
sorry.
247 if you want to go visit.
That would really, that might kill her. I don't know if I should do that.
Yeah, she would.
Well, I hope she gets to see this movie, but I hope she's going to be okay. And
Thank you.
oh
I
my
appreciate
God!
that.
All right.
Sorry,
Thanks
didn't mean to bum you out. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being a kind of good husband. Although, what am I saying? If I had been invited to go see Deadpool 2 and Meredith's leg fell off, you're like, look, just walk it off. I'll be back. It's 2 hours. Come on. All right. Yes, you, sir.
Yes, so my puppy Speckles is at the vet, and it's not.
Oh, dude.
Actually, I was wondering if you're in a position to confirm or deny. This is the second time I've seen this, and
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah, I've seen
Big
it.
fan
I've
of
seen it
Boots
twice now. I'm so what are all of there's so many things you could notice every time. All right, ask because maybe I won't even know this.
Okay.
All right.
So on my first viewing, it's certainly heavily implied that Detroit is Left Eye, or the original Left Eye. But I'm wondering, it looked like Steve Lift had a piece of artwork from Left Eye, and Mr. Blank, who you voice, has the left eye patch. Could he be the original Left Eye?
And that's why they blank his. Oh my God! I want to call Boots right now. Because he goes, I'll never reveal who Mr. Blank's name is, implying that you can figure out who he is. And I'm wondering if you just figured that out. Oh my God. Okay, wait a minute. What's your name?
Eric.
Eric.
Yes.
And go, hey, guess what? Boots. Some dude in Northern Virginia just figured your movie out. Wow. Okay, thanks, man. I totally didn't even put that together. Wow, okay. I'm so calling Boots after this.
Hey, by the way, I hear that Rosebud is a sled.
Oh, stop it. That's just, go to Snopes. That's already been disproven. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to try to call Boots right now.
Oh, good. Yes. Bravo. That's 3 hours earlier there. So
well, that's his problem. It's not my problem. Huh? Oh, you would like to tell him something?
Yeah.
Hang on. See if he is. I'm really calling Boots. Wait a minute.
It's just... Mailbox is full.
I'm going to call it with Eric's theory. That was amazing. I'll call him later. His mailbox is full right now, but yes.
Left eye.
Hi, Patton.
Hi.
Longtime fan.
Thank you.
I don't think I'm gonna have a better movie question than solving it, so I'll ask you something personal.
Yeah, I know. Who's going to follow Eric now? Let's hear it out though. Here we go.
Not to put you on the spot, but this is actually a follow-up because 10 years ago at 1 a.m, I got an inebriated phone call from you on a party bus. And my little sister made it happen.
Wait a minute, I was on a party bus?
Yes, you had just done a DC show and 3 high schoolers handed you a cell phone and asked you to talk to me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I gave you a call?
You did.
Oh, that's so sweet. And how drunk was I?
Oh, very.
I was
very.
wasted.
You gave me some wonderful life advice when I was 17. And now at 27, I'm a bit adrift and sort of coming to terms with my own struggles with anxiety and depression. And you've spoken positively a lot about that. And so I just wanted to know, when you were in your 20s, what was the thing that got you through the day and out of bed?
Was, first off, I feel like I failed giving you advice, but I thought you were going to go, now I'm 27 and adrift, and I'm here to say you failed! I was exactly as adrift and confused as you were, and I think and there was a lot of, first off, be ready for a lot of false starts. There's not going to be some huge epiphany where you fix it. You're going to have to try this a bunch of times and fail. But the main thing that did it was running towards the thing that scared me. In other words, the anxiety and the depression, which was keeping me inside. I'm like, well, the one way to defeat this is to run toward the thing that I'm afraid of, which is maybe being out there more and choosing something and committing myself to it, especially comedy, which is I'm on stage going, these are my jokes, and if they don't work, talk about anxiety, there's people right there going, nope. Like there's that's the harshest, criticism you can get, but I ran towards it. And if whatever is truly freezing you up, find a way to run towards it. Maybe not even like in a literal way, but run toward the thing that scares you, and as you do it, it will increase in size. It'll rob it of its power. I promise you that'll happen.
Thank you very much.
Right. Oh, wow. I'm glad to see you're doing okay, though. I'm glad to see you here. All right? Cool, man. Thank you, little sister. Very sweet. Yes, sir.
Patton, I know you're a huge Star Wars fan. And I was going to ask you a Star Wars related question, but I'm going to save that for another time.
Okay.
Yesterday was the 10th anniversary of Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight.
That's right.
And you, my friend, have a wonderful theory
about
Heath
the Joker.
Ledger's Joker. Yeah, on PTSD. Is that correct? I just wanted to know if you could elaborate on that a little bit. Like, how did that come into your mind? Was that random or?
No, I wrote it as a Facebook post. There are even a lot of theories about Christopher Nolan's The Joker that he was an army vet, because he would say stuff like, but what if a truckload of soldiers gets blown up? Or like, he says some very specific things, and also the fact that he's very comfortable with military hardware and organized. He's a lot of tactical ingenuity with what he would do. But I added another level to him, which is I thought not only was he ex-army, maybe ex-special forces, but I think that he was in interrogation. I think that he was sitting down and interrogating people, because he seems to be very, very good at acting different ways and getting people to give stuff up. He even says when Batman slams his head on the table, he goes, "Oh, never start with the head. Victim gets all fuzzy." Like, he's saying interrogation techniques, and he knows exactly how to get Harvey Dent freaking out. He knows what to do with he just knows how to find people's pressure points and turn them back on themselves. He even says, I take someone's plan and I turn it back on them. That's what an interrogator does. And he also says when he meets the mafia and he's looking at the Chinese guy, he goes, I know the squealers when I see them. Like, I know. So it's just like a guy that's been doing this a lot. And and also the fact that I know they took this from Alan Moore's The Killing Joke, but the big thing that interrogators do, they'll tell different stories about themselves, depending on who they're talking to get them to trust them or let their guard down. So when he sees Campbell, who is a gangster, and a very violent gangster, he tells a story about a violent dad, which Campbell probably experienced. When he sees Maggie Gyllenhaal, he tells a story about a woman that he loved, that he tried to show, because he knows that she's also in this weird love triangle, or at least suspects it, because he says later, oh, the way you went after her, I thought maybe you were Harvey. So he knows how to keep changing what he is. And also, the very obvious thing near the end, after seeing all the Abu Ghraib photos, he's really good at sticking dogs on people and knows how to, there's all this psychological stuff that he can do that makes me think that he was interrogating, and then something happened and got these scars, and now he's pissed off at the world.
It would really be interesting for you to write a book of film criticism. Seriously,
Or I would like to do a book of unsupportable film theories, and then pick 50 films and just write the most insane theories. Because I love unsupportable film theories. Huh?
That's why I had to ask, because it came out of nowhere and it was trending, and I'm like, it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and you came up with the most interesting idea to that movie, and I had to take this opportunity. So thank you so much for
your you're very welcome. Thank you, man. Thanks. All right, next.
Oh, I got kicked out.
Oh, you got kicked out? Are we done, or? Two more.
Okay, two more.
Two more. Do you want to go do one?
Yeah, I was going to say, if you could do any one voiceover for comics or a TV show, what would it be?
Oh, wow. The one voice.
Martha.
Who?
Martha.
I would love to do one of the Endless from Neil Gaiman's Sandman books. Maybe either. I would love to maybe do. I bet Despair would be really fascinating to do. Despair or Desire would be interesting. That would be a real test of my range, because Desire is either the most handsome man you've ever seen or the most beautiful one you've ever seen, depending on who's looking at them.
Wow.
Which would be really interesting to pull off. Or the, oh God, if they were going to do a cartoon of someone. I'm Space Cabbie on Justice League Action, which is really, really fun. Oh my God, I wasn't really ready for this. You know who I would love to do? If somebody would animate, even though they've done different versions of it, one of my favorite comics is Frank Miller's Elektra Assassin, and one of my favorite characters is John Garrett, the half-cyborg agent. He's such a great character. They kind of unofficially made that comic into a movie. It's called The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Oh.
It's basically, if you read Elektra Assassin and watch The Long Kiss Goodnight, they're kind of the same thing. But although Elektra Assassin is also kind of a remake of Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia, but whatever. So, but yeah, that'd be a really fun voice to do. Because it's a lot of whiskey and cigarettes and Nick Nolte kind of.
You talked for a while about being a single dad, and I'm wondering if you share these passions with your 9-year-old daughter.
I the thing with me is I don't want to be the great Santini version of the nerd dad, where it's like, you're gonna be into Star Wars, and you're, like, I'm gonna let my dad is an ex-Marine, my mom was a legal secretary. They had no interest in comics or science fiction. I found it on my own. So whatever my daughter's gonna find, she'll find it on her own, and I'll support it, whatever it is. But there's some things she likes. She loves Teen Titans Go. She thinks that's hilarious, but she doesn't like it because of the superhero. She just loves the characters, and which is very exciting because I do a voice in the Teen Titans Go movie, so I get to take her to the premiere on Sunday. So she'll be very excited about that. But again, whatever she finds, I'm just going to let her find it, and then just be behind it.
That's very smart.
Rather than go, like I showed, a bunch of nerd dads. We rented a screening room in LA, got an original 1977 print of Star Wars with none of the tinkering. Had all the kids there, put together goodie bags for everybody.
We may or may not have that.
Wink. And we showed it to a room full of kids, and half of the kids went crazy, and the other half were like, boring. And my daughter was one of them who was like, is the princess gonna come back? She's cool. Like, everyone else is just like, everyone's mean. Han Solo's mean to Luke, and Ben's yelling, and Darth Vader's mean, and why is everyone mean? So,
Patton, you are very generous to come here on this night.
Thanks
You're
for
opening
having
at
me.
Kennedy Center in a couple of nights,
Yes.
and you must be getting ready for that. And I know you're.
I am bolting right now because I have a long. I'm getting in the car and going back to go to sleep. So.
Well, thank you for spending your evening with us.
Thank
It's always
you,
great
man.
to see you.
Thank you. I'll be back here in August. I'll announce it on my Twitter. We don't know what we're doing yet, but I will be back here for another screening of something. We'll see. Something. Thank you.
Might be Star Wars.